Peace and blessings, beautiful people. I'm gonna start this thing in 1 minute. You heard, man. Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. I'm gonna get this thing cranked up at 1 minute. You heard, man. Give me a couple of more seconds. You heard, man. Give me a couple of more seconds. Give me a second. Let the 4 minute get to this thing. You heard, man. Peace and blessings. I hope all is well. We got a fresh word that's coming about, and I hope that you all have been having an amazing day so far. As soon as this clock strikes 4, we gonna get started. You heard, man. Come on in the room and get this word. All right, we had that 4 minute mark right there. Peace and blessings, beautiful people. I hope all is well with you within whatever world that you're experiencing. Within that world, there's a multitude of things that's taking place currently that you have access to, that is basically going to try to persuade you that you're either doing life right or doing life wrong. You heard, man. Now, what do I mean by that? When it comes towards my particular position, when it comes towards the way that the Lord allows me to speak, I come from a place where I can only give you my testimony. And in my testimony, he's going to allow me to speak to the need. You heard, man. And in that need is going to somehow make you believe that I'm talking to you, when in actuality, I'm really talking to myself through him. You heard, man. So every time I come here, I know that there's 99% of the things that I'm going to say that is going to make you feel a specific way. I appreciate you. That's going to make you feel a specific way. But at the same time, within that feeling, I need you to understand that emotions aren't real. That is my whole goal for 2025, to get you to the understanding that emotions aren't real. Think about it. There's a multitude of things that you do on a day-to-day basis that gets you emotional, regardless on if you accept it or not. You heard, man. Think about how many times you got mad already today on behalf of something that someone else said, that you still are not realizing that it's a spirit that actually has access to your particular mind. You heard, man. So tonight, you heard, man, last night we did my first episode of Sis, Can We Talk? You heard, man. So tonight we're going to do the second episode of Sis, Can We Talk? You heard, man. So about 2 weeks ago, because for the brand new people. So anyway, for the brand new people, for those of you who this is your first time getting your experience of me, my name is Tommy Durrell. I focus on the mindset. I focus on changing the narrative. At the end of the day, there are strategic things that's going to be said that's going to get you either to understand that I'm giving you puzzle pieces, or it's going to get you to the point of not understanding nothing that's being said. Because at the same time, just like within the church, there's a multitude of people that are doing a multitude of things, but at the same time, it has nothing to do with the actual setting. So you sit back and you watch a pastor sweat it out. You heard, man? He's sweating it out, trying to give you everything from his heart. And at the same time, you're not even of the mindset of understanding that there's a season that you're actually experiencing. And in that season, depending on what they're talking about on that day, there's something that's going to be said on behalf of that particular message that's basically going to help you, or basically allowing you to overlook. Because you got to understand, whatever age that you are in this particular day and era, sometimes or a lot of times you never think, what is it or how many particular blessings do you actually or have you actually missed in your experience? You heard me? These are things that nobody talk about. These are things that other individuals say that, well, you know, that you don't actually miss your blessings. Your blessings, if it's for you, is going to be for you. You have to understand that there's worldly conversation. You heard me? Because at the same time, when it comes towards my God, you heard me? Chances are in that season, somebody else got the blessing because you actually forfeited your particular blessing outside of the fact of how they taught you to think within whatever season you was actually operating in. You heard, man. But anyway, I'm letting you all know, to my TikTok family, I got my Facebook garden actually running as well. You heard me? Now, when it comes towards my Facebook garden is basically something that is really near and dear to my heart. So although I'm talking to y'all, I'm still recording over there, because eventually the Lord is going to bring whoever it is that needs to speak, or whoever it is that needs to hear what he's trying to say within this particular season. You heard, man? So my thing is, there's a multitude of people who get into my inbox and they're always asking me, when are you going to go live again? And I never tell them what the answer is. You heard me? I never tell them, because as soon as I feel the need to go ahead and pop on, that's when I'm popping on. I'm not the type of content creator that's going to tell you share the live. I'm not the type of content creator that's going to tell you to tap the screen. My baby, whatever you decide to do, let the Spirit lead. You heard me? Now, scripture tells me, that tells you, ask and you shall receive, knock and the door will be open unto you. So the only ask that I'm going to do is, I'm going to ask you, if I give you something different to think about on this evening, all I ask is for you to type in hashtag FYP in the chat, because the Lord is going to do what the Lord needs to do going forward. You heard me? Because I'm here for him, and I'm using my particular testimony. I'm using my particular wisdom to actually help you within. Big Monica, it's beautiful to see you. You heard me? I'm actually helping you with my testimony, but strategically, he's going to allow me to talk to the need of whoever it is in this particular building at this particular time. Because when it comes towards me, I feel like this is my classroom. We're all teachers, but at the same time, not everybody is actually participating whenever it comes towards the teaching portion of it. You may never think or say or consider yourself as a teacher, and at the same time, you got 3 children at the house. So if you're not a teacher, then what's actually taking place? What do these children really have to look forward to if you don't consider yourself as a teacher? When in actuality, this particular life was supposed to create a diamond, not a victim. Because in your stories, every story that you tell to other individuals, it is basically about the past. So that means you never really understand the present, because in the present, you always supposedly never thinking, watch this, you never thinking about the future. You always thinking about the past. And in the present moment, it goes overlooked. Just like, for instance, when was the last time you actually experienced, just like, for instance, right now it's 8:12 here in the DFW. When was the last time you experienced the present moment? Chances are you're going to experience the present moment now, because the Lord has something to tell you. The Lord is going to give you a word that's going to actually propel you in this particular season, but at the same time, you may miss this opportunity because you're going to be emotional. And in that emotion is when you will let you let anything actually happen. You got to understand, the way you operate, there's certain ways that you operate that only the people that you've been with actually understand what it is that you actually bring to the table whenever you get emotional. Now, you may be the type of individual that basically, as soon as you get emotional, you want to get to Facebook. You want to tell people what it is that you're going through, and you don't see no problem with it. You heard me? You want to sit up here and allow yourself to tell other individuals about yourself, and you still don't even understand. Well, what you mean I'm telling other individuals about myself? My baby, this is what I need you to understand. Scripture says that you are supposed to have an intimate relationship with the Lord. So until you have a relationship of intimacy with him, then that means you're operating out of the world, but you're still not seeing that because strategically, your particular people that you hang with on a day-to-day basis, they basically only keep you from actually changing, from actually seeing things differently. Just like, for instance, my question tonight is, sis, can we talk? You heard me. This is going to be my second episode. Last night's episode was absolutely amazing. Matter of fact, you really got to think about it because this afternoon at 12, I ended up doing a 2.5 hour live earlier. And that particular live brought so much joy to my heart because strategically, I'm only here to help one person to think differently. You heard me? If I can get just one person to think differently, I'm fulfilled. You heard me? Now, chances are, eventually, I'm going to ask who would like to come up on the stage and hold a conversation with me because at the same time, why hold all this information in? You heard me? Think about it. You are the main character within your story. But at the same time, with you being the main character within your story, just like, for instance, let's say whoever is your favorite actress or actor, you know, whatever movie they're in, they're going to be the main character. In that main character, they're going to have certain attributes that other individuals in that story won't have access to. But at the same time, in your story, you're known for strategically neutralizing your uniqueness. And in you neutralizing your uniqueness, there's certain strategic things that's going to pass you by. And tonight we're going to talk about a couple of them things, you heard, man. So watch this. For my people that's in the back, you heard me, because right now we have 10 people in the class, but at the same time, for the people that's in the back, the ones that never even came into the class, because you have to understand, this is what I'm trying to teach you whenever you decide to go live. There's students standing in the hallway as we speak. And chances are they may never come into the class, but strategically, what is that telling you? What is the recap on that understanding? In your life, there were certain classes that you stepped into that became a part of you, regardless of you knowing it or not. Just like, for instance, earlier we had different individuals come up on the stage to hold conversation with me, and there were different stories. So if you would like to hear that particular segment, that particular episode, I'm going to upload that one on my YouTube. So just reach out to me, and I'll go ahead and shoot that to you whenever that thing upload. You heard, man. So in your life basically was supposed to create a diamond. So everything that happened to you was a part of your diamond process. Now, in that diamond process, you believe, present day, you believe that certain things happen to you rather than for you. I need you to understand the difference between that. Certain things happen to you rather than for you. The things that happen for you was supposed to be situations of you looking on the outside. Remember, I just spoke about who is your favorite actor or actress. You know the role that they played in certain specific movies, but at the same time, in that particular role, they had to operate with other actors in that particular role. Same situation with you. What I need you to understand is you're still allowing yourself to believe that there's individuals that hurt you. I'm still finding myself getting on podcast. Well, I consider them as podcasts. Whenever you get on a live here on TikTok, you start to see a multitude of things. There's a multitude of people who are talking about relationships, but they're not. Anyway, we're going to get to that in a little bit. You heard, man. As I mentioned, welcome. If this is your first time, this is going to be an experience of a lifetime. If you didn't take your Big Mom, I appreciate it. Big Mom, hey, I appreciate you, my baby. You heard, man. Watch this. If this is your first time experiencing one of my lives and you haven't taken your medicine yet on today, my baby, please go take your medicine right quick, because I'm going to put you in a place that not many individuals have access to. They have access to it, they're not tapping into it. So watch this. For my churchy folk that's outside the room, watch this, because y'all are my students. Watch this. If Satan can't touch the church, watch this. If Satan can't touch the church, because you remember back in the day, they used to say, if you're scared, go to church. Watch this. If Satan can't touch the church, why are we instructed to put the full armor of God on, to resist the devil, to stand firm, and be alert? Think about it. Why are we basically instructed to put on the armor of God, resist the devil, stand firm, and be alert? If we aren't susceptible to being wounded or trapped by Satan, why does Paul describe our relationship to the powers of darkness as a wrestling match? My baby, what you wrestling with? You heard me? There's a multitude of things that you're wrestling with on a day-to-day basis, but at the same time, nobody in your story even knows that you're actually wrestling with that situation. You heard me? Think about it. What is that small voice telling you to do on a day-to-day basis, on a day like this? What is that small voice telling you to actually do? You heard me? Or what has that small voice done throughout the day that's still not operating in the full you or the real you? You heard me? I need that particular understanding. Until you understand what it is that's actually taking place on a day-to-day basis within your mind, you're always going to be lost within every situation that you actually try to bring yourself into the understanding of. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm about to let you know. Remember that I mentioned to you, if this is not your first time, that means you already got the understanding about when it comes towards the cars, when it comes towards the vehicles. Every car, every vehicle, regardless of the make or model, what do they have in common? They have in common what's considered as a blind spot. In these blind spots, I'm going to basically allow you to have access to understanding some of your particular blind spots on this evening. You heard me? Now, as I mentioned, a couple of weeks ago, I went on ahead and put out a post on behalf of me looking for my sister, allowing me to have access to my sister that I was separated at birth by, or with, or from. And I'm seeking her because I would like to have a conversation with her, because she's living in a world where she doesn't know what she actually wants out of this life. And there's people that's going to take advantage of her because she doesn't know. Now, there was so many people that was out here trying to help me to find my sister. Oh my God, what is her name? What state are they saying that she's in? When at the same time, my baby, these are the individuals that have no idea what they want out of this particular life. So strategically, I'm really talking to them, but they don't understand my mindset, because they're only allowing themselves to see me in the flesh, when in actuality, my baby, if you only look at me in the flesh, you're going to miss what the Lord is trying to do with you in this particular season. You heard me? So, as I mentioned, sis, since you've been found, my baby, I want you to understand something. Before I start to talk to you tonight, I need you to understand that I've been looking for you all my life. And I've been holding conversations consistently with the Lord about you. And every time I hold a conversation with him, he always tells me the same thing. Let her know that I broke the mold after creating her. So I'm here to let you know, my baby, listen. The Lord said that he broke the mold after he created you. But at the same time, the life that you're living without understanding what it is that you really want, because you got to understand, your baby, that's not going to be your baby daddy fault. That's not going to be your ex-husband fault. That's going to be a person in the mirror type fault. You heard me? And in that person in the mirror type fault, that means chances are you're not accepting accountability for your particular actions on a day-to-day basis, which that's the reason why you continue to connect with other individuals, or better yet, you may end up being a season where you stop worrying about getting into a relationship, but at the same time, you stay vulnerable on those times when you actually get into a relationship. You still have yet to realize that every time you said that you were about to start following God, the devil know how to plant a particular seed on behalf of what it is that he know that you like. And in that know that you like, I'm about to reveal so much to you tonight that's going to change the dynamic of how you see the opposite sex. Now, this is on both sides. This is not just on one side, because now I'm starting to understand that there's men that's actually starting to follow, and men are actually starting to understand what it is that I'm saying. But at the same time, you have to understand what's taking place on both sides. You heard me? Because my spirit, my particular wisdom doesn't just work just for men. My wisdom actually works for women as well. So I know that my particular calling really don't have nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the youth, because chances are you may have gotten to the point to where you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But at the same time, I'm presenting myself to you as your brother, and I want you to know that I love you. And I love you enough to actually tell you the truth, rather than sitting up here trying to sugarcoat something to get the combination to you locked. Think about it. You already been in that situation a multitude of years now. You heard me? So what has that actually given you? You heard me? Think about it. What is that actually giving you? Watch this. Let's travel to Matthew 12. Matthew 12. Verses, what is going on right here? We're going to travel to Matthew 12, verses 43 to 45. Let me show you what's actually taking place in the life that you're experiencing right now that nobody's telling you, because chances are it's a struggle to get you to actually go in and read the word and get the particular understanding for yourself. To all my sisters that's out there that still have yet to create intimacy with the Lord, still have yet to trust the Lord to actually get your understanding of your life, watch this. Verse 43 says, "Now, when an unclean spirit has gone out of a man, it roams through the waterless, dry, arid places in search of rest, but does not find it. Then it says, I will return to my house which I came, and when it arrives, it finds the place unoccupied, swept, and put in order." Watch this. What's taking place right here? What's taking place is you got to a point in life where you said that enough is enough. I'm not going to just do it how I've been doing it. I'm going to go ahead and go to church. I'm going to go ahead and get baptized. I'm going to go ahead and accept the Lord as my Savior. So in the midst of that, this is what's actually taking place. I'm going to read it one more time. This is what's taking place. When you accept your call from the Lord the first time, because you got to understand, sometimes it's a situation where you have to do it a multitude of times. Sometimes when you done it when you was young, it was because your mom and them wanted you to, or whatever the situation is, but you still didn't have all that understanding of what was taking place. But once you finally did it for yourself, that you thought, watch this, you thought that you did it for yourself. Now, when an unclean spirit has come out of a man, it roams through waterless, dry, arid places in search of rest, but it does not find it. Then it says, I will return to my house, which I came. Understand this. You have a house. In that house, that's the particular body. I'm trying to tap into your particular mindset in the current on behalf of how many spirits are you actually operating out of. Watch this. Then it says, I will return to my house which I came, and when it arrives, it finds the place unoccupied, swept, and put in order. Why was it unoccupied, swept, and put in order? Because you accepted the Lord as your Savior, and everybody celebrated. You heard me? You wasn't even understanding why everybody was celebrating, but in that celebration, that's when you was washed clean, and you became a new individual, because Romans 12:2 says, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So until you understand that you got to renew your mind every day, my baby, you're not who you was a couple of seconds ago, or a couple of minutes ago, or even yesterday. Because if you never recite these particular swords to combat these particular thoughts that you're actually having on a day-to-day basis, then my baby, you're staying the same. You heard me? So chances are you don't recognize what it is that I'm saying. You don't use that as one of your go-to scriptures. You only operate in believing that you less than. You only operate in believing what your baby daddy said about you at the end. You only operate in believing what your ex-husband and his mama or whatever the situation said at the particular end. But you have no idea what the Lord says about you. And actuality, the Bible is basic instructions before leaving earth. Watch this. When it arrives, it finds the place unoccupied, swept, and put in order. That's the week that you decided to accept the Lord as your Savior. But at the same time, you never change your friends. So your friends got to understand that, oh, okay, my baby, she went and got baptized. You heard me? I'm proud of and this and that. But were they really proud of you? Because at the same time, somebody's birthday was coming up. And in that somebody's birthday was coming up, they already knew what you like to do on behalf of them whenever y'all get together. So you still believing that your friends are your friends, when in actuality, my baby, if we friends, why we got to sin together? Why do we have to sin together every time we're around each other? You have to understand, my baby, that's a spirit that you're operating out of. Now, this particular spirit, when it arrives, it finds the place unoccupied, swept, and put in order. But guess what? One of those particular friends end up getting you to come back out with them. So what got to happen? Let's see. Let's find out. The house is swept and put in order. And then it goes and brings with it 7 other spirits more wicked than itself, and they go in and make their home there. And the last condition of that man becomes worse than the first. So it will also be, watch this. So it will also be with this wicked generation. Chances are you don't even understand nothing that I'm talking about. And what's so crazy about it is you might be married right now. What's so crazy about it is you in some type of relationship. What's so crazy about it is you telling people that you're single in this season, when in actuality that every man and every woman has somebody that can reach out and get their attention regardless of whatever situation they're in. So have you ever really been single? If you really think about it. Have you really ever got to the understanding that in this experience, you probably had 20 relationships? Or you know how you'll do it. You'll only count certain relationships and you won't count others. Okay, cool. So watch this. You're still operating out of the world. And since you're still operating out of the world, that means you already experience, or you already have these 7 spirits that's embedded within you, because also the scripture says that he knew you intimately before you were born. Before he placed you in your mother's womb, he set you apart. So the beautiful thing about the scripture is that you had the intimate relationship with God. That's what I'm trying to remind you of. In that relationship of intimacy, you got to understand you've never been intimate with anybody down here in this particular world. But at the same time, you have the nerve. I got to talk to you like this. You have the nerve to tell people or tell others that there's no good men that's left in the world. Have you ever said anything like that? My baby, this is what I need you to understand. Within that understanding that you brought out, you got to think about it. You have people manipulated in this life, and they're going to support what it is that you're saying, when in actuality, that's some people that don't even read. You heard me? They just seen that you posted something and they went on ahead and liked it without even reading it. So your numbers are going up on the strength of individual. Because watch this. I'm going to show you what this difference is. Because some of y'all are just, I tried, my baby. Nobody was on that Facebook side of the... Anyway, that's why I don't really rock with Facebook like this. But anyway, check this. You're experiencing a life that you haven't been delivered from. So you're still a part of that particular life. There was no change. There was never a change in you in this particular life. The only change that you believe that actually happened was that you became a mother. When in actuality, okay, now you a mother with 7 spirits. Okay, now you a mother with more than 7 spirits, because at the same time, you still don't have the realization that every man that you've ever, or every male in transition that you've ever had intercourse with, had a multitude of umbilical cords that he actually had at this particular point in time. Think about it. How many men do you think, or how many males do you think that you've had sex with in this particular story? So as you calculate your particular numbers in the spirit realm, understand, my baby, that everything is spiritual first before physical. So what I need you to understand is that every male that you've had sex with, you have now created what's considered as an umbilical cord in the spirit realm. But it doesn't stop there. There's more. I got something for you, my baby. Watch this. I'm only telling you this because I love you, and there's no man. Think about it. There's no man in your story that cares enough to actually have this conversation with you. And the only reason why I'm able to have this particular conversation with you is because you're going to realize that I'm not talking to your flesh. I'm talking to your spirit, my baby. You heard me? Watch this. That spirit leaves, goes to a dry area, and then comes back with 7 other spirits more wicked than itself. So if I ask you, just like I've been asking, my baby, I'm about to paint you your picture. I'm going to lead you up into what I really want to talk to you about. Since the first time you ever had intercourse, we got the understanding that you was influenced to have the first set of intercourse. If you really think about it, every male in transition going forward have always basically influenced you to have intercourse. Now, some of you have that particular spirit where you're the one that prey on the men, which is cool. You heard me, whatever the situation is. But at the same time, what actually happens at the end is always the same particular story. But in the world that you're experiencing, I'm seeing so many people that are promoting these new relationship podcasts, when in actuality, there's so much trauma that's going on between all these women. And the situation at hand is there's some that are engaged. There's some that are with the father of the child. And there's some that's still asking questions about what if a single mother didn't have this and didn't have that. And I'm like, my baby, you're not going to get me on the stage to come sit in there and be all around that. Troy, you must be crazy. Watch this. Let's go. Sis, can we talk? Check this out. Jess, it's beautiful to see you. Watch this. All your life, you've been dating unhealed. Really think about that. I really need you to close your eyes and really think about who broke your virginity. After who broke your virginity, think about it. Every male in transition since then, you were taught to actually blame him on behalf of something that you can't even see. Think about it. My baby, I called you a magician last night. And the reason why you a magician is because you know how to pick the same spirit in the new dude. You a magician, but you're not going, I don't see you doing no tricks on here. The only tricks I see you doing, I see that we done got away from the portion of people twerking. I see that we done got away from the portion of, I don't know. I have no idea. Whatever it is that you're into in that particular life, my baby. But at the same time, you're not realizing that you blame everybody except the individual that's in the mirror. Now, mind you, you may be a businesswoman present day or whatever the situation is, but the businesswoman is really still the cover up for what's actually taking place under the surface. That's just like, for instance, listen to what I'm asking you. Your whole life, you've been dating unhealed. And chances are, now you married. Think about it. In that life, you were still able to get a man to buy you a ring, when in actuality, what are you putting that man through currently? Or what is that man putting you through currently? Because you have to understand, all you did was took your mask off to make yourself believe that you were single. And then you ended up operating out of your own will and still decided to blame the other individual because he got you to take your mask off. Watch this. Let's keep going. All your life you dated unhealed. Then all of a sudden, you supposedly got engaged unhealed. Are you following me? My baby, this is what I need you to understand. I'm not judging you. I'm just trying to show you what's actually taking place. You heard me? Because you got to remember, you are part of these individuals that say that there's pee in the dating pool. My baby, you've never met a man in the dating pool that was basically celibate. Because in the dating pool, you was never celibate. So you can only attract what you are. You heard me? So if you really think about it in that way, then why that never came up in the story that you was trying to do the public humiliation about whenever that man supposedly did what you didn't like? Because what happened was those people didn't know that you were only telling your particular business on the strength of that man just being a mirror of you. How that feel? My baby, I told you go take your medicine. You heard me? Please go take your medicine, because I'm going to give you certain things that's going to be hard to swallow. And as you can see, that number not changing. But guess what? There's still people that's in the back, because I'm not talking to y'all that's in the room. I'm talking to the people that's in the FYP right now. So do me a favor. If I spoke anything in this first segment that's giving you the ability to think different, go ahead and put hashtag FYP in the chat and watch what God do. Watch this. You've always dated unhealed. You found yourself getting engaged unhealed. Think about it. Some of y'all have a relationship with God now, but back then, whenever you was married before, you never had no relationship with God. So you came into that marriage already unhealed. So you only attracted somebody else that was unhealed as well, because that individual can only treat you how you treat your relationship with the Father. Nobody exempt. You heard me? What makes you believe that you're different, especially if you don't have a relationship with God? My baby, this is what I need you to understand, that every time you go into a new relationship unhealed, same results, and then you're going to blame the man as well as God on behalf of something that you're not learning for yourself. You heard me? Now, you got to understand, my baby, I'm just your brother. I can talk to you like this because at the same time, I'm not trying to finesse you. There's a multitude of males in transition that's going to try to finesse you to figure out what your combination is to the lock. I don't need to know what your combination is to the lock, because that's not what I was sent here. I was sent to help to create positive change, not to help to hurt, because you got to understand, every man you actually like back hurts you. That's what you said. Rather, he left your story or he went and got married to the next woman. Either way, you claiming that he hurt you. Every time I get on a relationship podcast, these ladies are in here talking about how they're hurt on behalf of what somebody else did, but at the same time, nobody on the stage actually operating with wisdom. So guess what? As I mentioned, my sis, Can We Talk podcast is going to be basically totally different from what y'all are experiencing by these other content creators, because the ladies that I'm going to bring before you are ladies that are already healed, and y'all going to see the difference in the conversation outside of the conversations that y'all be having. Think about it. You having an unhealed conversation about relationships, and there's other people that can come in the room and they will not be healed either because you're telling your story wrong. And these individuals that's coming into the room, they need a word from the Lord, and you can't even give it to them because you're not accepting responsibility for carrying your cross. My baby, what's your heart saying? You heard me? What does your heart say? That little fly is still in here. That's my third episode in that fly. I'm telling you, I'm gonna kill him. I got to take him out. He's nothing but a little distraction. You heard me? And he keep hiding. As soon as I go look for him, but a little distraction. You heard me? And he keep hiding. As soon as I go look for him, I can't find him. But watch this. My baby, what's your heart saying? You've been in the dating world unhealed all your life. But all your life. But you still not realizing you got people fooled. So fooled, you heard me, it's to a point to where they even believed you whenever, I missed them. They even believed you whenever you said what you said about your baby daddy. But at the same time, they didn't have the wisdom to understand that you were only telling them what you was about by telling them what he was about. Because what I'm going to ask you is, what was your role in that situation? Think about it. You came into the conversation, you came into the situation with your baby daddy before you got pregnant, and you was already unhealed. So guess what? Everybody gets the opportunity to see how you operate whenever you get emotional. Now, for the fellas that's out here, my brother, y'all knew how that woman was whenever she'd get emotional. You had to go through what you went through in the confines of the house, or whatever the situation is, or whenever y'all go out, she was supposed to get mad. She wouldn't talk. All she would do was start making all that noise and this and that. But people have no idea that side of her, when in actuality, that's really not her. That's those seven spirits that's actually operating through her, because what needs to happen is, all that situation was basically designed to show you what your mom and them was lying to you about that was going on that you couldn't understand in your deep manipulation process. My baby, don't let me lose you on behalf of that. You heard me? Because I believe that you can understand what I'm talking about. But if you can't understand what it is that I'm talking about, please don't let me. I need you to get in my inbox. I'm going to break it down to you. Write it down and then tell me what you're talking about. Tell me, what did I say? And I'm going to explain it to you outside of how the area I'm about to explain it to you now. If you think about it, right now, the recap on what I just told you was, you're dating unhealed, you engage unhealed, some of y'all are married unhealed, but I need you to understand that same results bring the same actions. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So why can you find yourself continuing to find yourself in a situation where you're hurt behind what somebody else is doing to you outside of yourself? Think about it. What was your role? How did you entertain this particular situation? What did you do? You heard me? Because I told you, my baby, you're a magician. You know how to pick the same spirit in a new dude. Now, don't sit here and thinking that I'm sitting here telling you that I'm on the man's side. No, my baby, it goes both ways. You heard me? So for the fellas that's in here, if there's a fella that's in here, my brother, think about it. Until you accept, until you actually interact, until you build that intimate relationship with the Lord, then my brother, the women can only be a mirror of you. You heard me? Think about it. Some of y'all fellas, y'all operated in a situation with a narcissist, and you still don't have no idea what their spirit is, but you thinking that you done found the one. You heard me? You done found the one, but that woman got so much trauma that don't have nothing to do with you, and you're going to be blamed on behalf of you getting that woman pregnant, bro. But I need you to understand, the only reason why they're blaming you is because you're being taught on your side that there's other entities that's not like the entity that you came from. But at the same time, there's other entities that are designed to come to you because of the attraction. Watch this. I'm going to get into that a little bit later, so just bear with me. Watch this. My baby, what your heart said. If you really think about it, as long as you've been in this experience, you always operate out of your mind, which is so confused all the time. You heard me? Which is why the devil continues to reign supreme over your particular life and over your particular relationships, because you'll never see your particular story on behalf of what I'm saying. My baby, life is really simple, but you're just looking at it through your lens. And as long as you continue to look at it through your lens, you're only going to get what you keep getting, because nobody coming to save you in that life where you're just operating out of your own lens. Think about it. Oh, were you your creator? This is what you're doing in a nutshell. The day that you were born, remember the scripture says that he knew you intimately. You had an intimate relationship with God. That means you knew what family the Lord was picking for you to come and be a part of. Before he put you in your mother's womb, he set you apart. But what I need you to understand is he didn't send you here to be family. You only look like those people because you're a part of the bloodline. But since you decided to be family, that's the reason why your story comes out the way that it comes out. Because think about it. You tell people openly that you came from a family of trauma. So that means if you come from a family of trauma, that means every new dude that has no understanding of that is going to be brought into the cesspool that you created. Because guess what? You decided to become family. Your mama, them, your auntie, think about it. Some of them you don't even rock with. But guess what? You are part of that bloodline, not realizing that the Lord sent you here to be set apart. But at the same time, you allow yourself to operate how these generational curses operate. So watch this. Let me show you something. Not only did you come into the dating world or to the dating scene unhealed, you also came with the lack of knowledge. My people will perish for the lack of knowledge. Every new man is just a new school that you actually enrolling your time into. Because you got to remember, you love to work that 9 to 5. That 9 to 5 consumes 160 hours of your particular month. Now, some of y'all work a little longer than that. You work extra days or whatever the situation is. So really calculate how many hours of your month are you actually giving away freely. You're in a prison sentence. This is what I'm telling you, my baby. You've been in prison as long as you've been in the 9 to 5. That's the reason why when somebody reaches out to you with a business opportunity, you become a professional ghost, because you're too busy to even be who you was really created to be. You only operate on behalf of what you know. You only operate on behalf of the dudes that you attract, when in actuality, the dudes that you attract, you don't know how to pick men. Same thing with you fellas. You working all this money. I remember back in the day, I used to work in the oil field, bro. You heard me? We used to work some 16-hour days, you understand me? And didn't really have much time for nothing. But at the same time, you heard, man, you got to make do what it do with, because you sitting up there with the mindset that that's all you can do. The Lord sent you down here with unlimited potential. Have you ever heard my balloon conversation? If you haven't, eventually you're going to hear it. We're not talking about it tonight, because I need to fast track you to get the understanding of why you're actually operating in the light that you're actually operating out of. Watch this. You operate out of your mind, which is so confused. Right now, you confused as we speak, but you still don't know who the author of confusion is. You heard me? Watch this. The reason why you don't know who the author of confusion is because you've been living a confused life for all these years, but nobody else know except the people that you attract, because you're attracting the same confusion. Think about it like this. I'm going to get into that in a little while. Check this out. If I was to ask you, just like a little while ago, I said, my baby, what your heart said? Chances are you have nothing to say. You heard me? And since you have nothing to say, what that tells me as a coach is that you still don't realize that your heart gives you access to the little boy or the little girl within that's being overlooked, that's being unheard, and that is also unhealed, but you don't understand that fully. So since we have this taking place, your heart gives you access to the little boy or the little girl within that is being overlooked, unheard, and unhealed, but you're saying that you was in a relationship where you've never been seen. He stopped looking at me a certain way. He stopped really paying attention to me and all this other stuff. My baby, that's your little girl that's actually doing the talking, but you can't tell the difference because she's screaming out for help. And what happened was you was an early mother and you totally forgot, and they made you forget that you were supposed to be a child. Your childhood lives you didn't actually operate in. Think about it. If you basically got pregnant at 15, if you really think about the breakdown, check this out. From 0 to 10, they was deeply manipulating you into understanding Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and Tooth Fairy. Chances are you still teaching your children the same thing. So my baby, you never learned nothing from your particular story. Some way, somehow, you had an Easter egg hunt to your house about 2 months ago. You're still manipulating your particular story, manipulating others that's watching you from your particular story. And now they done gave you a stage to come here and talk about all your trauma with other individuals that are stuck in the same particular place. And y'all are praying, PREYING, on all the other individuals. And guess what? Y'all doing it with your cameras off. Because, let me tell you why. Because y'all haven't created your own identity in this world. That's the reason why you still operate the same way you've been operating. You've been on TikTok forever. You don't go live on your own. You love being on other people's live. And it makes me cringe when I get on somebody live trying to support, you heard me, and they sitting up there with about 5 or 6 people and everybody got their camera off. We got 5 or 6 people in this room and a bunch of people watching that basically have never created their own identity. And nobody said nothing about it. You heard me? Watch this. Kimberly J, it's good to see you. Sacred Force, is good to see you. Am I saying that right? I keep saying I know it's not sacred. Real Hope, my brother. Hey, I miss you, man. You heard, man. Kingdom Business, is good to see you, brother. You heard, man. Shay, it's good to see you. You heard, man. Who else we got in the building? Mel, what's the word, brother? Tanits. I don't know how to say that, my baby. You heard, man. It's good to see y'all. You heard me. Here's the situation. Remember when I told y'all if y'all just type in hashtag FYP, what the Lord would do? You notice how the classroom got a little bigger? So far, this was the segment number 2. If I've said something that's giving you a different thought, type in the comments, hashtag FYP. Rojo, man, what's so crazy about it, brother? When I met you, I was in my late 20s, and you remember I had a boy. You heard, man? And my boy about to be, he about to be something special. You heard me? He about to be something special. And it's beautiful to see because it's like planting them little seeds, man. Them little trees start to grow, supposed to grow quick. But at the same time, brother, we met on the backside of my 20s, and now I'm 42, man. Hey, I would love to sit around with you, brother. You heard me? You were an individual that the Lord sent. Because you got to understand, I had supervisors all this time throughout the oil field or whatever the situation is, brother. But when I met you, my brother, I knew I was home. And it had hurt me. It hurt me the day that I had to go sit with you and tell you, man, look, I got to get out of here. You heard me? I'm telling you, Rojo, that broke my heart, man. I couldn't see myself leaving, but you made me so comfortable. You heard, man? But here's the deal. It was plenty of nights that I was out in the oil field. You know what I'm saying? We working days, working nights. Plenty of nights I'm sitting out there. I'm just looking up at the sky, and I'm like, there has to be more to this life. I know I'm not supposed to be here, but strategically, at the same time, I've met so many beautiful people, so many good dudes. You heard me? In my particular tenure, but at the same time, it's like, you know, you got to understand, you a supervisor. It's like the picture has to change. That's the only bad thing about it. The picture has to change, and once the picture changes, the question is, will the picture come back, or will the picture stay in an array? It'll be a different type of situation. But brother, we're gonna talk soon, man. Beautiful people, here's the deal. If I gave you something different to think about at this point, all I need you to do is type in hashtag FYP and watch the Lord do the rest. That's all I need from you. I'm not asking you for much. You heard, man? What I need you to understand is that your heart gives you access to the little boy or the little girl within that is being overlooked by you, that is being unhealed by you, and that is, unheard by you and unhealed by you. So think about it. You're overlooking you're overlooking the little girl in you, the little boy in you. The little one is unheard and unhealed. So think about it. You sitting up here raising children, but your little girl, little boy on the inside is still unhealed, is still unheard. What happens when your children don't feel like they don't hear you? Or what happens whenever you feel like you're being unheard by your children? What I need you to understand is that's the same way that God actually feels on behalf of you, because you have come into this particular experience and you done decided to create. Matter of fact, watch this. Let's play a game. Hurt people. That's right. Let's play a game. Type in the word sin in the comment section. I'm about to show you something. Type in the word sin. After the word sin, type in the word pride. And I'm going to show you. Because chances are you don't have the courage to pray to the Lord and ask him to show you. Now look at those two words right there, sin and pride. What is the middle letter on both of those particular words? That's where you're going to find you. And as long as there's you, the Lord can't do nothing with that. You heard me? Because you have created a barrier, just like the barrier that you created when it comes towards the opposite sex. You believe that nobody understands you. You believe that nobody wants to be with you. These are things that the devil is actually operating in your mind, because you like to operate out of your mind. But then when a man comes and asks you, my baby, what's your heart saying? You have no idea how to respond. It's like he's speaking a whole nother language, because he's speaking to your spirit. He's speaking to the little girl within you that you have no idea what she's saying, because when she does say something, you tell her be quiet. Because this you right here is the you that you're actually committed to. And this you is the one that's keeping you bound from accepting the Lord as your Savior. So let's keep going. But at the same time, like I mentioned, they gave you a podcast. You decided to come to TikTok, and out of every particular lane that you can be in, you choose to think of the lane that you unhealed in. My baby, you're operating out of those 7 spirits because those 7 spirits are having you to talk about your trauma when in actuality, it was never trauma. It was only classes. Remember what I mentioned? There's people that's outside of the classroom, standing in the hallway right now. They're congregating. There's that small circle that you keep. Y'all are standing in the classroom. Some people have a situation where they become alcoholics. They become some type of drug abuser or whatever the situation is on the strength of them being influenced by another friend. So in that influence, you got to understand, you went in their classroom. You was already in yours, but you decided to supposedly skip class. Remember back in the day, you supposed to skip school, your mom and them didn't know, or whatever the situation is. Or better yet, back in the day, whenever there was some type of, I don't know, fire drill or something like that, and all of your friends, they all end up meeting it. What class you taking? And, okay, well, I'm going to just run over there with you because I'm going that way anyway. And then you go sit in a class, and then you never find yourself coming out of it. Because that class is connected to your bloodline. And your bloodline is basically struggling with that particular course. But in actuality, you only came into that class to get your own understanding and then come out that class and be the change of your family on behalf of that situation, because you're going to be able to speak to that particular situation in somebody else. Don't let me lose you on that. Whatever you've experienced in this life, you are what's considered as the well, how can we say it? You something like an expert in your story, because listen to how you tell your story. Listen to how passionate are you about your story, when in actuality your story is connected to people. And in that being connected to people, there's individuals that's assigned to your spirit, that's assigned to your calling, but at the same time, you still supposedly working a 9 to 5. Whenever they need you, you supposedly sitting up there allowing yourself to not do nothing on weekends and basically only piss away the weekend to then fall into depression on Sunday nights around this time. By 9 o'clock tomorrow night, you're gonna be depressed. Because now you got to go do something. Queen Fitness is beautiful to see. Now you got to go do something that you don't want to do. But at the same time, back to the situation at hand, you decide to come and have a dating podcast and decide to bring people up. Think about it. You're being seen by the wrong people in the life that you live in currently. And now you're going to give other people access to come and live that same experience with you, because it's going to be like spirits attract. That's the reason why certain people not going to come up on the podium with me, because they know if they hold a conversation with me, you got to be willing to change. Think about it. I just had some people that came up on the podium just a little while ago. At the same time, I told them something simple. My baby, just get in my inbox with a whole conversation. That never happened. The reason why it never happened is because everybody want to tell their story, but they still unwilling to change. You only a representation of the people that you hang with. You heard me? You don't want to be healed. There's people that ask me, what is your coaching? How much does your coaching cost? My baby, in the world, if you ask what something costs, that means you can't afford it. So you don't think that I'm about to give you a discount for my time? Think about it. There's a multitude that just want to hold conversation in the inbox. My baby, we're not holding no conversation in the inbox. I know what you got going on. I'm going to ask you a simple question. What's your heart saying? I'm going to watch this little sentence that you end up bringing up, but everything else you bring it up. Well, I'm going through this. I'm doing that. I'm doing. My baby, if you want healing, let's go heal. I'm going to send you my coaching information. If you don't feel comfortable with the text, I'll email it to you. Send the email, send the text, no response, because these individuals are sitting up here trying to pray. Think about it. To my content creators that go live, they in the comments, they telling you they're looking for prayer. These people are not looking for prayer. They're not looking to be healed. They just want that attention. And y'all are sit up there and give them that attention. Me? Oh no, my baby. I'm not going to sit up here and waste my time with them people. Because you got to understand, first of all, the ultimate relationship is the long distance relationship with God. These are individuals, if you ask them, how do you feel about a long distance relationship? They're going, oh no, that's not for me. I don't know. Or better yet, I've never tried this before. Okay, cool. My baby. Some people plant, some people water, but the Lord gives the increase. So I already got the understanding of how to deal with you. I'm not going to sit. You got to understand. If I come into your store, you have to blame me at the end. That's how I go, right? Let's keep going. I need you to travel with me, Kimberly J. Let me get Proverbs 14, verse 1 and 2. That was segment number 3. You heard me? If I said anything that offended you, my baby, I need you to understand emotion's not real. This is how you operate whenever you get emotional. You heard me? And when you get emotional, nobody can really trust you. And the people that you got already confused, the people that you got that's around you that's confused, you got to understand, you hang with other people that's confused. Why would we hang together? We don't think the same. You keep telling yourself that you're less than. I don't think like that. So chances are, for those that supposedly looking at me in the flesh, you talking about he handsome girl, oh Lord, he speaks with authority. I need me a man like that. My baby, what you would actually do with me? What would you teach me? I'm not saying that I'm better than you. I'm just saying that you don't operate with men like this in your world. So what you would try to do with me, besides try to treat me how you treat them, and how you treating yourself is what I'm trying to get you to understand. So we don't operate the same. You heard me? Which man come in or came in to help you heal? Think about it. Here we go. Proverbs 14, verses 1 and 2. Proverbs 14, verses 1 and 2 says, a wise woman builds her home, but a foolish woman tears it down with her own hands. Remember what I just talked about? You're coming into a dating. Think about it. You're dating right now, or you're married right now, or you're single right now, and you unhealed. So a wise woman builds her home. Think about it. If you're not a wise woman, they're not talking to you. A wise woman builds her home, but guess what? A foolish woman tears it down with her own hands. Whenever you decided to use that spirit to go and try to publicly humiliate whoever it was because they made you take your mask off. That's the only reason why you did what you did. That male in transition made you take your mask off, and you feel played because you said that you were supposedly on your healing journey. Verse 2 says, those who follow the right path fear the Lord. Those who take the wrong path despises him. So guess what? Those who take the wrong path despise him. Why you think you had all them children? Because the Lord knows it's a chance that you're going to despise him the same way your family did. So that's the reason why you came with all the children. You heard me? Just in case you decide not to accept your call, my baby, is already in the word, but in the word you choosing not to read. You're only going off base stuff what your mama them told you, and them people don't read. Y'all, when did y'all have a Bible study? Because guess what? Remember the world that you're experiencing, they told you that everybody goes to heaven, so you still think you have time. Well, guess what? There's people that are they're still creating fish fries for these people that don't have no insurance. They're creating these GoFundMes for these people. As a matter of fact, they got to do, if Jess is still in here, I don't know if Jess still in here. Me and Jess been following this dude. Well, I follow him. She probably don't follow him, but I follow. The dude has basically gotten to the point to where he had the world believing that he was chosen. And within him being chosen, he ended up contracting cancer. So now he's using the word cancer to actually get people to send him money on a day-to-day basis while his mindset doesn't change. Think about it. There's some people that's in here, when your birthdays come around, you have the nerve to put your Cash App, if you would like to be, listen to me. If we following each other on Facebook, I'm happy that they don't have. You can't see that over here on TikTok. You can't see it on Instagram really either. But if I see something like that, my baby, I'm not following you no more. I can't be. You thinking about it? We're in a situation where everybody is going through something, and you have the nerve to try to prey on the emotion on behalf of seeing who's going to supposedly send you money. My baby, all you trying to do is basically allow that other little side piece that you supposedly talking to on the slick or whatever the deal for him to have access to be able to send you a little something or whatever the deal is. Oh, but guess what? I bet you reached out to him on that day. My baby, every man and every woman has somebody that can get their attention regardless of the situation that they're in. But you don't believe that. So as I mentioned, a wise woman builds her home, but a foolish woman tears it down with her own hands. Those who follow the right path fear the Lord, and those who take the wrong path despises him. But watch this. In everything that I just said tonight, chances are you still don't believe that none of this has anything to do with you. So in the midst, let me show you what's about to happen. All this time, you've been watching your family fall apart because you came into another relationship, the same you that you or your homegirls can't recognize. Let me repeat that again. You're watching your family fall apart because you came into another relationship, the same you that you or your homegirls can, or let's say discover. I'll put the word discover. You and your homegirls can't discover. But guess what? Y'all already devised a plan because your role is basically what made the turmoil happen within that relationship. Because I'm sitting here telling you that I don't care what type of relationship you in right now. What I'm telling you is that man got some woman that can get his attention regardless of whatever it is that you say or do, and you can't accept that because you supposedly got to a certain age that you don't know he'll never do that to me. My baby, please. Please. What about the little roster that you got on the side? Think about it. If me and you meet, you come with baggage. You come with a journey. You come with individuals that believe in you, regardless on if you know it or not. But chances are you don't have nobody that believe you in your story code. You're not going to believe in you either. That's the reason why you afraid to actually not live in worry, doubt, and fear. You afraid of success. And strategically, all your little group is the same way, but at the same time, they know how to dress that up. We're about to get into that just in a little bit. Hold on. What's it? You're watching your family fall apart because you came into another relationship, the same you that you and your homegirls can't discover. You're in a separation type situation. You're about to go through a divorce type situation. My baby, what I need you to understand is if the word divorce comes up in a conversation, that means y'all was separated a long time ago. When the divorce word comes up, the divorce probably won't be finalized till about 4 or 5 years later. But chances are y'all end up having another baby in the midst of that conversation that happened a few years ago. And now you got a third or you have a fourth child on the strength of lust. Because this is what I'm going to ask you. You still mad that your father didn't want to have nothing? Well, that's what they told you. They told you that your father didn't want to have nothing to do with you, when in actuality, your mama taught him how to be quiet. And in the midst of him taught how to be quiet, what I need you to understand is that he has a role to play, and he's not going to try to turn you against your mother, because at the same time, the Lord got to show you himself. So your mother, or better yet, you became the mirror of your mother. Don't miss what I just said. Don't miss what I just said. Remember, your mama said you just like your daddy, but I'm with you 100% of the time. So how am I just like him? You heard me? Think about it. Why your mama never told you that you had unbiblical cards in the spirit? Why your mama never told you that like spirits attract? My baby, I need you to watch these boys that you about to try to bring around. Think about it, she let you operate. To my dudes that's out here, my brother, you still mad at your dad. Oh, okay, your daddy been in jail all his life. Oh, okay, cool. At the end of the day, brother, you came here to be the change. Are you going to allow just because your father been in jail all his life? That don't, you gotta understand. That was his purpose for your life. Because when you tell your testimony, my fault, think about it. You remember, you've been watching Colorado, got some people that been watching Dion, you know what I'm saying, doing this thing. They're still mad that he left the black college to go. Hey, listen, people that are being mad or whatever the situation, half of them people don't know who they are anyway. Man, went get the cheese. You afraid to get the cheese. You want to work the 9 to 5 for the cheese so that way you can work check to check. No, go get that money. If it's available, go get it. What's this? That was segment. I don't know what segment that was. You heard me? I hope somebody learned and saw me, understand me. Hey, Lulu, what's the word? What's the word? You heard, man. What's this? I think that was segment number 4 because segment number 5 gonna be some pressure. If I said something tonight that's giving you a different thought, understand that I'm not judging you. Understand that you my sister and I love you, so I have to talk to you like this for you to understand because they ain't got no other men that's talking to you like this. I need you to understand as my sister, I lost other sisters because they're laying next to familiar spirits. And those familiar spirits are listening to what I'm telling them on behalf of my particular podcast. My particular podcast is in my lane. You're not going to hear something that you heard from somebody else because I sit with the Lord. I get my wisdom from the Lord. I don't need the wisdom from somebody else. If you're sitting on social media all day, just sitting in lives or being live all day, when do you have time to hear from the Lord? I told you every time I come to you, I'm going to have a different conversation for you. Because at the same time, I need you to understand that, my baby, you're a gift to this experience. And until you start to understand what I'm understanding of you, I can only tell you. But at the same time, if you don't believe it, then they become just words. You heard me? But if I said something that gives you a different thought, my baby, understand, hey, I'm here for you. Allow the spirit to have you to type hashtag FYP because I'm about to get into what I really wanted to talk to you about tonight. You heard me. I believe that I'm out of, that was the only 2, Matthew 12 and Proverbs 14. Miss Lynette, I appreciate you. I hope that there's nobody offended. You heard me. Because if you're offended, my baby, I told you that emotions aren't real. And as long as you operate in those, you're not going to be able to see what it is that I'm trying to show you, especially with this last one right here. I'm not sure if I have any fellas in the building. I don't know if Rojo's still in here. You heard me. Check this out. To the fellas, I need you to hear my heart. Oh, okay, cool. Hey, Rojo, what's this? So I'm only talking to you at this point. Check this out, my brother. Have you realized that when we're out and about and you see an attractive woman and you get that particular feeling on behalf of the attraction that you see through your lens, what that's actually showing you is what most men will never be able to understand. Watch this. The women you attracted to are basically an alert from the Lord that will only continue the cycle in your experience. Listen to what I'm saying. The women that you're attracted to, think about it. Every woman that's just like with the women. Every woman that you like, you tried to get with. And after you got with her, she blamed you. So think about it. The women that you're interested in are alerts from God that will only continue the cycle in your experience. To my ladies, I need you to understand what I'm saying. The men that you're interested in are alerts from God that will only continue the cycle in your experience. Don't let that go over your head. Rojo, check this out. What about the women that liked you, but you didn't like them? Whatever happened to them? They had to sit back and watch you go with somebody that you liked first rather than that actually liked you. Because the one that you liked first basically pretended to like you because of your particular persona. You're not just an average dude. So she see what the situation is. That's what I go through on a day-to-day basis whenever I come to this. That's the reason why I don't never dress up whenever I come to these lives. And I never post pictures on behalf of when I'm dressed up. I don't do that because it's going to attract the wrong type of spirit. So I can only give them the beard and the bald head. You heard me? My brother, think about it. Or to my ladies, watch this. The men that you attracted to are the ones you had sex with. The men that you attracted to are the teachers of those classes, and you had sex with the teacher of that class, not realizing that that teacher comes from a journey. That teacher had other situations before they met you, especially if y'all still meeting them on free prostitution sites like them dating apps. Who's really behind the dating app? My baby, so you think he's a handsome dude, but you the only one in his inbox? My baby, why you keep doing yourself like this? Some of y'all are in relationships with people, just like when it comes towards Instagram. They got some dude, you in a relationship with somebody that don't even know you exist. But you're trying your best to get his attention. You heard me? Not understanding that if it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen naturally. But at the same time, if you really think about it, you a magician, just like some men are magicians. But at the same time, once you get to understand that you're not a part of this world, let that woman say what she got to say, because I'm going to come in and open the conversation. My baby, if you want to deal with me, you have to understand what comes with me now. I come with a bunch of women that I'm here holding conversations with on a day-to-day basis. So if you're insecure in that area with on a day-to-day basis, so if you're insecure in that area, my baby, I'm not going to be good for you, because I'm going to just break your heart, and then you're going to blame me from operating out of my call and purpose. Think about it. You've never experienced a man that's operating out of his call and purpose. Think about it. There's some individuals that are trying to get pastors these days. A man that's just trying to operate out of his call and purpose, but he still got to worry about them little women that like to come sit on the front row with them legs open. Or come sit in the front row with that flashy. They like to wear them bright colors. You heard me? They want to make sure everybody are aware whenever they come into the room. Think about it. What does a man actually have to deal with when he accepts his call or purpose? Because I need y'all to understand something. Most of y'all in the building are promoting lust on social media. And since you're promoting lust, that's the only way that your pictures blow up. Because at the end of the day, a man that still operates out of lust, he's going to help promote you. Because it's just like, for instance, when you post a picture, you're planting a seed. And in that seed, all you're doing is fishing. So every fish that like that seed, you're going to see that they like my particular, you heard me? But the more to the story is, if we have a conversation with you, you're the most insecure woman that's in the building, because you still have yet to allow that little girl within you to actually grow up. That's the reason why you just operating anyway. That's the reason why you married and you still promote lust. Let me show you what's taking place, fellas. They got women that I follow on LinkedIn, classy area. You know what I'm saying? You can only post certain things on LinkedIn because, you know what I'm saying, you got other business owners that's actually operating on, you know what I'm saying, LinkedIn or whatever the deal is. But If you go to her life that she's living on Instagram, that's not the same woman that's over there on LinkedIn that's talking, you know what I'm saying, with she's so proper over there on LinkedIn. But then when you look at her Instagram, she's like, you heard me? Yeah. And then when she comes to Facebook, you have to understand these are individuals that are actually operating out of those seven spirits. They know how to actually manipulate the particular crowd, which shows me that whoever it is that she's laying up with is just another familiar spirit, because he's allowing that Jezebel to do what the Jezebel do. And chances are, if you ask her, man, what your husband got going on? You heard me? Oh, he don't really operate on Facebook. He don't really operate on social media like that. My brother, you finding yourself engaged to an individual that has never healed. And right now I'm 42. So when I hold a conversation with somebody, if their conversations doesn't align with them being healed, my baby, you're not going to get close to me if you're not healed, because I already know what you're capable of. That's the only reason. Just like with Kimberly J. Kimberly J told me, man, just go ahead and just follow these people back. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter that they never created their own identity. I'm telling y'all, I'm one of them type of people. If you never created your own identity, I don't need to follow you whenever it comes to a social media, because whatever you decide to post is what's going to come up on my particular feed. And now you done fed me something that's killing my particular spirit on the new day. But at the same time, you still have yet to not realize that you the reason why some of your homegirls can't stay in relationships, because them dudes that's with them, because you got to understand, your homegirl going to support your post. Your homegirl, whatever, y'all going to take pictures together. Her boyfriend going to find out what your name is, and you going to just accept it. Oh, okay, that's such and such boyfriend. Okay, they done broke up. Such and such boyfriend still connected to you. He got all his boys following you now. You heard me? He got all his boys following you. And at the same time, then you got the ones that used to be the little homegirls that used to carry the purses when it used to come to go into the club. In your previous life, you used to carry purses. But at the same time, you have no idea that those little Jezebel friends that you had back then that you're supporting on social media is basically creating a cesspool of individual catfish to come and put your name. Let me break it down to you, because I want you to understand. It's your homegirl birthday. Y'all already know she coming dressed to compete. She the one that take the longest to get dressed. Then y'all finally get that to the club on her schedule. She has no consideration of your time. And y'all have still yet to realize, I appreciate you, Kimberly J. Y'all have still yet to realize that how she operates with men as well. So you don't see the fact that she don't really consider your particular time. Those men that she operated with, they are aware that they can never get nowhere on time together. Me personally, I'm a type of person I'm on time. You put me on time, I'll be there. You heard me? That particular point in time, I'm not trying to show up an hour late. If we go an hour late, my baby, I'm not gone. You heard me? You're going to just have to tell them people what you have to tell them people. But at the same time, that's what you operate in. I don't operate in that. I'm not showing up late to somebody's situation where it's only 3 hours. So if we rocking together, hey, I'm going to come down, support. You heard me, what y'all need. You show up early just in case somebody needs something, you know what I'm saying? Oh, y'all need a bag of ice. All right, cool. I'm going to go grab that, whatever the deal is. But you show up late to make sure you don't have to bring nothing extra. My baby, you thinking about yourself. Remember the word pride and sin. You always operate out of your pride. And people are basically sitting back watching this, but they're not saying nothing because you just their home girl. You heard me? Think about it. Your home girls, or better yet, fellas, your home boys show you what it's like to be in a relationship with them, just like that situation with your mama. How your mama talk whenever nobody's around. Think about it. What man would want a woman that talk like that? Now you getting the understanding of the reason why your daddy was taught to be quiet. My baby, I'm okay, cool. You one of them type of women that like to run your mouth or whatever the situation is. My brother, I'm not trying to battle. You heard me? I'm not trying to battle tonight. If you sit here and you listen to these C's, if you don't even speak English, you heard me? Give yourself a translator so you can hear what it is that I'm trying to tell you. You heard me? But I'm not trying to battle. You've never seen this particular profile battling. I'm not into that. Think about it. I'm not here to play games. I'm here to help people heal. You heard me? But anyway, really think about it. You've been in situations when you've been around your mama or you've been around your daddy and you listening to how they speak when no one's around. Would you really want, look at these guys, man. Hey, that's my dudes from other countries, baby. Hey, I love y'all, man. But hey, I'm not trying to battle tonight. You heard, man. Here's the situation. You listen to your mama speak. You listen to your daddy speak. Think about what they're showing you. They're strategically showing you what it would be like to be in a relationship with them. Would you accept a particular woman or a particular man that talks like that to you? You can't see it like that because these are the two main characters in your story and it's not designed for you to see it. But if you ask the Lord for wisdom, you got to understand, I can give you this type of wisdom because I already experienced the loss of both parents. So you may not be able to experience it because you're not allowing yourself to see what's taking place. Just like for the men that's out there who had a situation where they was told that their father didn't want to be involved, but you met a few different men within your tenure of being raised. Oh, such and such came by to bring some groceries. Oh, such and such came by to, you remember back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Some people like to put they bill money in the mail. You heard me? Such and such and came by. Nah, I'm not even from NOLA. You heard me? I'm from Lafayette. You know what I'm saying? It's really Cecilia, but I say Lafayette because a lot of people not going, you know what I'm saying? But I'm out here in the DFW. You heard me? I've been out here about 17 years at this point. You know what I'm saying? That accent not going nowhere. You heard, man? But watch this. You can't see these individuals for who they are because you chose to be family. My baby, you came to be set apart. That's not your particular situation, but you allowed that situation to become your situation because you decided not to accept the Lord as your Savior. Now, I'm not sitting here telling you that you shouldn't be going to church. I'm not here selling you that you should create your particular relationship with God. But what I'm telling you that is if you decide to create that relationship with the Father, everything changes at that point. You no longer deal with men of the world. You no longer deal with women of the world. Think about it. It's just like I did an analogy earlier. Once you start making $20,000 a month, the men and the women that you have that you're actually entertaining right now, would they still be able to catch your attention at that point? If your response is no, then let's go get this 20K per month. So that way you can see yourself in a different light. But at the same time, having 20K a month and still not being healed, my baby, you're still not going to be happy. You heard me? Think about it. You watch that go on these, matter of fact, the little dude, Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards. Everybody was supposedly mad because he paid his child support 18 years in advance. All up front. Hey, take it. I don't want to have nothing to do with you. Everybody, man, why would he do that? He don't want to be around the kid, my baby. You got to understand, you asking them questions and you still haven't created your own identity. So why was it even matter what you say on behalf of the comment section? You heard me? Think about it. You're entertaining certain things that has nothing to do with your purpose. What about the people that are called? What about the people that are assigned to your particular purpose that are dying off every day and you walking around with blood on your hands and you still don't even realize? What's your story once you get to heaven? Because chances are, just like the story that you have down here, you believe that you're the only one with that story. Once you get to heaven, what you think? Everybody been watching you do the same thing every day. No particular identity in Christ or in the world. And you're going to go up there and try to lie to them people that's been watching you. If that's what you believe. Because I can tell you, I'm going to believe what you believe. But you're not going to only make me believe what you believe. we're going to have an open panel discussion on behalf of what we believe. I'm going to give you a different thought. Whatever you choose to do with the thought is up to you going forward, because at the same time, I may never get to see you again. You may never come back across my life. Yeah, you may follow me, maybe a little, and maybe later on, maybe next month or something, you'll come through a particular live in actuality. But I have the understanding that you're still not ready for change. So you won't be able to persuade me anything else, because you already post confusion on your social media platform. As soon as I come to you don't have no pictures, you don't have no videos, no none of that. But you have reposts from everybody else, what everybody else got to say. In your bio, you claiming that you love the Lord, you're a child of the Lord, you're the daughter of the King, and you done came up with this creed name, that daughter of the Most High. But you don't have nothing to say on behalf of how good he is. You might maybe type something that you done copy and put in the paste in that little section. But my baby, the people that's around you, do they actually know that you're really operating out of a tear? You heard me? You're a tear amongst the wheat. You know how to blend in. That's the reason why you still running into situations, because life is like Tetris. When you fit in, you disappear. At some point next week, I'm gonna go ahead and drop this t-shirt line. You heard me? I got some items inside the store that I believe that y'all are going to enjoy. It's about my different sayings. You heard me? I got a couple of sayings that y'all probably done heard a couple of times, and I done put them things on some shirts. You heard, man. And if you rock it, you rock it. If you don't, hey, you got to understand. You're not assigned to me. You're not going to break my heart. You're not going to hurt my feelings, because I don't operate in emotions. You heard, man? Think about it. Right now, there's someone in the room right now that still cares about what other people think about them. That's the reason why they'll never write that book. That's the reason why they'll never start that business, because they're waiting for somebody to die to actually start doing certain things, when in actuality, they don't know that that particular death is actually a blessing, because they were taught to actually cry whenever somebody leave their story, when in actuality, my baby, you should fast whenever one of those characters leave your story, because your particular prayers are assigned to the people that you care most about. I appreciate you, Kimberly J. But nobody telling you this. You heard me? And since nobody telling you this, you're just drifting. What is the difference between you having a home, having an apartment, having a family, and somebody that you see at a red light that got a little sign, that got a little cup, or whatever the situation is? You can't judge them, because you're really both in the same situation. They're afraid of success, and you're afraid of success, but you just know how to dress it up, just like we was just talking about. The people that you're interested in are alerts from God that that'll only continue the cycle that you're experiencing. They got a lot of little women that'll pull up at Walmart, dressed provocative, got their children with them. Look at what they showing these little girls. That's supposed to be life. I appreciate you, Lynette. You heard, man? That's what you showing these little girls on try to, you know what I'm saying, on behalf of how to dress amongst men. Think about it. The reason why you'll never find a man is because you dress provocative. Ain't no man gonna come in, hey, how you doing over there? No, my baby, nobody gonna talk to you. You heard me? Nope, everybody gonna sit. I'm gonna sit back and I'm just gonna, you're not gonna get no eye contact. Oh, Callan, see, we know what's going on over here. The devil is in the building. You heard, man? And once the devil is understood, you don't operate in that. Oh, okay, cool. Now, back in the day, oh, okay, yeah. But, my brother, that woman gonna blame you at the end of the day regardless. You watching a little worldly woman supposedly walk around dressed provocative. You watching another worldly woman that'll come and profess about the love of the Lord, and then all of a sudden she's so say working out, and in her workout you never see her sweating. My baby, so why are you posting these particular, oh, so you just put this on, you took a picture, and then you went back about your business to be busy. You heard me? Think about it. Look at the stuff, the certain things that you gotta understand. I'm not judging all of y'all, but y'all know who we talking about. Y'all got some homegirls that we talking about. Y'all seeing what the women doing, and guess what? You'll never check them because they know how to fit in. And that's why you calling them friend. My baby, you got the wrong set of friends. Who's your 5 friends? Oh, I don't really hang with nobody. My baby, that's what the devil want. He don't want you to hang with nobody because an idle mind is the devil's playground. You think you got it figured out, so you'll never invest in yourself. And as long as you don't invest in yourself, my baby, you're going to stay exactly where you at until you decide to manipulate another man into getting with you or to marrying you. And then now you still got to blame him at the end because you're still choosing to despise the Lord. You don't even know what a Proverbs 31 woman is. You heard me? Think about it, especially when it comes to my little sisters that's on here. I be recognizing as soon as one of them get into a new relationship or they got some little dude that's supposedly talking sweet to them and all this other stuff, all of a sudden they go away from social media. They go away from social media and they consider it as self-isolation. Because they'll say that they're in isolation. No, my baby, you in self-isolation. You putting yourself to the side to supposedly go be busy because your call is not happening. You're not going viral like you're wanting to or like you're desiring to. And because it's not happening on your time, you supposedly blaming God again. You heard me? Well, maybe that's not what God wants from me. That's the little voice that keep telling you that, my baby. You got to understand, you lived this one life for 30, 40, 50 years, and now you want to step into your own understanding of what the new life is supposed to be when, my baby, you got to really give up everything. Because that's what I had to learn as well. I have to be willing to give up everything in order for me to be effective. Because outside of that, I can't have control over none of this. I can only come before you with the information. And if you choose to actually absorb this information, my baby, my job is done. Especially if I can only get one of you to actually accept what the Lord is saying through me. But anyway, do you preach, sir? My baby, whatever you feel. Whatever you feel. I don't operate in titles. Go ahead, Kimberly J. Let's see if we got somebody that want to talk. Would anybody like to come up and give me a piece of their mind? Come tell me what's on your heart. If you decide to come up on the screen, I need to hear what your heart is saying. That's going to make the difference between if you really have something to say or not. Because I just gave you the understanding that what's going on in your heart is that little girl that's asking, that's begging to be healed. And if you just want to come and tell me about what some other man did, my baby, you have to accept accountability for your actions. Everybody is what's considered as an NPC at the beginning. Or better yet, let me say it in the world sense so you can understand it. Everybody starts off as a stranger. The stranger comes into your movie. In order for the stranger to come into your movie, you got to have a conversation with him. In that conversation, you can't be mad at what role that particular individual came to play because you have to also understand that you allowed that person into your movie. So, with that particular understanding, I would love to have somebody to come up. Come talk to me. You heard me? Come tell me how you feel. If you don't want me to ask you no questions, that's cool. If you want to encourage me, you heard me? Go and come up and whatever you want to do. The floor is yours. Anybody going once, going twice? You heard me? We're going to leave this thing open for about 2 minutes. So once it gets to 47, if nobody want to come through, that's definitely understandable. You heard me? Gabrielle, it's good to see you. Matter of fact, I know Gabrielle will come up. Gabrielle, come tell everybody what happened yesterday. Come on up on the screen right quick and let us know what happened. What happened on yesterday and then what happened on today on behalf of the decision. Okay, here we go. Oh, Big Rojo, come through, brother. Hey, my brother.
What's up?
Hey,
What's up, my brother?
my brother, I miss you, my brother. You heard, man.
Miss you too, my man. I miss you too.
Hey, you on location right now?
No, actually, just me and my boy went to go get an ice cream, big dog.
Oh man, hey, I like it. I like it. You heard, man. You know what I'm saying? How's the family, man? How's everybody? Hello. Okay, Abriel, come on with it. Rojo busy. Let everybody know what happened on yesterday, and then let everybody know what happened on today on behalf of your decision.
Hi everyone. So yesterday I scheduled an appointment for a coaching consultation, and based off of the information that I was able to receive from coach yesterday, I was able to start mentoring. Well, I signed up to start mentoring pregnant teens because I was a teen mom myself. So I guess I'm following God's call over
Hey,
my life.
hey, you heard me? It's time to celebrate, Gab. You heard me? It's time to celebrate because think about what we spoke about earlier. Um, what was it? We were talking in I forgot what scripture we was talking. It was talking. Oh, better
I,
yet, Luke
I
9.
have I have Romans 12 verse 2. I have Proverbs 18 verse 16.
Uh-huh.
And those are the two that we focused on.
Go ahead and read them. Go ahead and read it to the people because some of them don't. They don't go read it for themselves. So go ahead and read these two scriptures for us.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Take your time. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. As y'all can see, people, we're not playing around here. You heard me. We're here to help someone or help those who are willing to help themselves. You heard me. Um, she has a beautiful story. Within her story, she is not her story. The story actually happened the way that it happened in order for you to understand that those are the people that the Lord needs you to be basically a expert over. Those are people that are basically whatever your story gave you is giving you access to those people because those people you'll already have the know, like, and trust with. There's a multitude of people who are business owners that are struggling. And the reason why they're struggling is because they're trying to promote the business rather than promote themselves. And in you promoting yourself, that's where you're going to get the people that's going to know, like, and trust you. Whatever your situation is, you're a young mother. In that young mother, you think that young mother stopped because you was a young mother? No, there's somebody 15, 14, 13 right now probably done had a baby today. And that's a part of your particular call to encourage individuals like that because guess what? Their mothers won't know how to encourage them because it had to happen that way because the mother was a young mother and she never accepted her call. So the cycle had to continue. But in the midst, what is she going to teach that young girl?
Okay,
Talk to her.
I'm ready. So Proverbs 18 verse 16 says, it says, a gift opens the way and ushers the giver into the presence of the great. I have it in King James Version. That was NLT. And in
Mhm.
King James Version says, a man's gift maketh room for him and
Amen.
bringeth him before great men.
Amen. Amen. Talk to me about Romans 12 and 2.
Okay, Romans 12 and 2 says, Romans 12 and 2 says, and do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
Amen. Amen. Gabrielle, my baby, I'm so proud of you. You heard, man. You have to understand that the decision that you made today on accepting that particular mentoring role, there's going to be situations that's going to come up But when they come up, I need you to understand that you're no longer the old Gabrielle no more. As long as you continue to speak Romans 12:2 over your life, you're going to understand that every day that you wake up, you're a new being. As long as you believe that Jesus died on the cross for your sins, that means there's nothing that has authority over your life no longer unless you give it that authority on behalf of your mind. Because the mind is the devil's playground, and the mind is where so many people operate out of 99% of the time. And then once you ask them about their heart, it's like you put them in confusion because they're programmed to only operate one way. And then outside of that one way, they can't see themselves living another way. You heard me, my baby. I'm proud of you. You heard me. Always feel free to reach out if you ever need some type of encouragement. You heard me. Let me know, and I'm gonna be excited whenever you decide to start going live and putting yourself out there because we're gonna come and support you. You heard me. We want to see you get whatever your heart desires, even if it's a situation which you're not going live. You heard me. Just let us know how can we support, and we're gonna rock it like that. You heard me. Because at the same time, once I start doing this panel, I'm gonna want you to come talk to these women because guess what? We got some women that's in here right now that was some pregnant mothers, some pregnant teen mothers, and they still haven't realized, my baby, that's a part of your call. That's a part of your purpose. That's what you got to sit back and help others that still see themselves as a victim of that story. When in actuality, my baby, pack up your things and come out that classroom and come back in as the teacher next time to be able to make that particular class be according to the wisdom that the Lord gives you.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Yes, man, boy. Talk
Thank
soon.
you.
Absolutely. Hey, be safe. You heard me.
Alrighty.
All right. Beautiful people. Who's next? You heard me. Let me see. I got somebody else that's coming through. All right, Rojo, come on with it, brother.
Hey there, my brother. How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. You had a phone call that came through?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I was taking the boy with the ice cream and stuff. He's riding his scooter outside, so that's why I'm not on Facebook.
Cool, cool,
But
cool.
but I want to reference what you said, my brother. I want to reference what you said a few minutes back, about how you come to this right here, this live, dressed as you dress, and to attract, not to attract, the wrong, right? Isn't that what you said? I don't want to take the words out of your mouth.
No, boy. Hey, give it to me how you heard it. That way I can get your experience of it.
Hey, man, you're a real one. You're a real one. So I'm going to tell you more testimony on this. You're right, man. That was like you said earlier too. That you're not here to offend anybody. It's not about offensive, bro. I'm not going against your word by any means. But if anybody's offended, it's conviction through the word, brother. It's conviction, and we need that. We need that. Okay, it makes you uncomfortable. Uncomfortable conversations build great relationships, brother. You know this.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate you, man. And I just want to let you know that. Going back to that, my testimony on that, yeah. We go out, we dress. I'm not that guy. I used to be. Whatever. We all have our history. But I want to tell you a testimony. There was my oldest son introduced me. We were on the bike rally run a few years back, the last one they had in Red River, New Mexico. And he said there was a woman. He had a rough life with his mom and all that stuff. I won't get into that. But there was a woman they looked up to as his mom, his mother figure. He'd go to her and he talked to her about situations and stuff. And I found out it was more stuff that he had mentioned to me. So it kind of hurt my feelings, but I praise God that he had somebody to go to, right? Well, she was a married woman. He introduced me to her and everything. Well, she was attracted to me. And I didn't know that. It was kind of like it just popped up one day. And it started with social media. She asked to be my friend on Snapchat and everything. We started talking. I just told her, all praise and respect. I appreciate you being a figure in my son and guiding him through stuff that I wasn't aware of. And she started sharing me stuff. And it turned into something. A few months turned into slow conversation, into an attraction. Like, hey, I'm in the area down here in West Texas. Let's have a drink. It's 11 o'clock at night. I'm telling my boy, I was like, hey. I mean, she was a very attractive woman, I'm like, boy, I can't believe this woman hit me up. He's like, dude, go, bro. She wants you. You know what I mean? I'm like, she's married, son. My eyes, she was engaged, but she's married. It's the same, right?
Absolutely.
So I let her down respectfully. I was like, hey, I can't go. I was like, I'm sure your husband will not be approval of this. I'm like, you don't know me. I don't know that. Plus, it's inappropriate. And it's conviction to me because I was once a guy that entertained that, you know what I mean? And not in a sexual demeanor. I never let it get that far, but it was going to lead to that. We all know, you know what I mean? It starts somewhere. So my conviction was, I told her no. you know, and she got upset with me and said it's not like that. But in reality, it's denial, right?
Exactly.
And my son, being a youngin, he's like, dude, you're crazy. He's like, you know how many boys in my class would want to like smash and all that shit? You know, I shouldn't say all that, but
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
You know
Most
what I mean?
definitely.
And
Most definitely.
I'm like, in real talk, son, I'm like, no, you know what I mean? It's not appropriate. And so I cut her off. She reached to my buddy, remember Rojas, my brother Gilbert? She
Mm.
reached through him and got a hold of him because she's whatever did her research on my social media. And she got to him and said I was just checking on him. I blocked her and everything. Man, just crazy, an adult, grown ass woman.
Hey,
That's all
watch
good.
this. Just think what the husband have to deal with because he's going to marry someone who's unhealed and still operating like she's single.
Yes.
You heard me?
Yeah, and there's a lot of that in this world, correct? Men and women. Men and women.
Oh, yeah,
Especially
both
West Texas
sides.
single stuff.
Absolutely, both
Let's say
sides.
that West Texas single oil field stuff. Man, like miss me with that because I'm not that. You know what I mean? So I'm not defensive or anything. I'm just like I'm proud to be that. Okay. So going through years after that, my son had told me he got in a relationship and it's not everything was good and stuff. Well, he was telling me stuff about. Oh, he started asking me in remember David Martinez?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
We went camping for my birthday, and his girl and kids were having a good time. My son's like, "What do you think of my girl?" This is a girl he had in the past. And he's like, "What do you think of my girl? What do you think? You think she's pretty?" I'm like, I stopped him in his tracks. I'm like, "Boy, don't be asking everybody. That's disrespect to her, to you, and to your relationship."
Right.
I'm like, you know, and we went back and forth a little bit, and he's like, "Dad, well, I'm not proud of this, but he's like, man, like he used to acknowledge women, you know, and they just even if you're in a relationship, you know, someone say, hey, what's up? You talk to them. It's just the same as fornication in a way, right? Even though you're in a relationship, man. Like,
You're getting older, man. You know,
yeah, sir,
we
sure,
operate how we used to. You know?
yeah, mature. Well, my blessing is my whole testimony is he actually came to me and told me, Dad, you know what you taught me? You taught me that. You know, I'm learning. He's like, he didn't understand, but he's learning. And we reference the book, man. You know, the God's word, man. The Bible, basic instructions before leaving Earth. That's what Bible stands for. You know what I mean?
Yes,
That's,
sir.
I learned that. I learned it from my brothers and sisters. Well, I just going to say all this. It was conviction to me that yeah, I used to. He was around that. I gave that to him. I gave him that perception of me until the point that night when this came through with this woman, married woman, and he actually thanked me. You know, and it was deep in the heart and the soul, man. He's like, Dad, you know what you told me? Now he has a beautiful relationship and they're going through stuff. You know, just like any relationship, and they're young, man. And I'm like, dang. And he once told me, he's like, he bought a house down here in Texas. Started working for me. It's been 3 years now. Bought a house down here. Going back to that woman that he was asking us if she was, you know, what we thought of her, if she was pretty and all that stuff, right? He came to where he was, he was going through situations. He's like, should I move her in? Should I put her on the house? Should I put her on the lease? Should I put her? And I'm like, yeah. My first thing is like, hell no, because of Dad's experience, right? But I said, you know, boy, that's not the answer for me to answer you. That's not the question for me to answer. That's you and your heart. I said, I told him, I said, you may not understand, but I'm gonna do my best to explain it to you. I can give you my answers from what I've been through, my experiences, but that's gonna lead you to where I'm at or what I'm at.
Absolutely.
I want to be better. God's given our children to us. He lent them to us.
Amen.
Okay,
Amen.
and I know, I know, you know, we both know, man, that you know we got to be the best we are. We're not always, but the man I've been through, you know my story, a lot of my story, big time.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I'm just saying, like, I feel, I know. Yes, thank you. I know that God's never left my side, as you know, it's known. I know this for myself. God's never left my side. I've walked that path, and I've wandered off. But you know what? He's always been there. I just had to reach out to him. That's all it takes. And man, like the conviction of all this, and the testimony of all this is like God's given me the grace to experience stuff. I've chose to leave aside. Chose to wander off and do the stuff I've did, and I'm not proud of it again.
Right.
But here I am. I'm like, here I am to be guidance to my son through God.
Better than ever, brother. Better than ever. Man, I'm proud of you, man. You heard me. Hey, we're gonna definitely talk soon, brother. I'm gonna reach out to you. We're gonna get some time on the phone.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man, and I love you, bro.
Hey,
For real,
I love
man.
you too. I love you too, brother. We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. Keep it real, bro. I praise you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you, my bro.
Yes, sir. To the ladies that's in the building, I'm hoping that someone learned something about his brief testimony. This is the wisdom that I received from hearing that portion of the testimony that I would like to share with you, so that way you can understand what it is that you're doing current day. Chances are you had a child in your teens. Chances are you had a child in your 20s. What I need you to understand is, from your teens to your 20s, nobody told you that you were supposed to piss away 10 years. So in the 20 to 30, everybody in your story that said that they loved you, they didn't tell you that you were going to piss away 10 years. So if you got pregnant within your teens, think about it. By the time you was 30, you already had a 15-year-old. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is, the males that you operated in are the men that are present day. Because you got to understand, when Rojo basically operates with his kid, he loves his kids. But it doesn't matter what any woman ever said about him, because they never seen the finished product. We all have a past. We all go through things within this experience. And some people never want us to become the men that we are today, because it didn't work out with them and they feel like we left them stranded. When in actuality, it never happened like that. We was just out of season, and the kids, just like he said, the kids came in. The kids were the blessing. The Lord lent us those kids, and we have to do what we have to do. But at the same time, there's some of y'all that still allow yourself to be so bitter that you don't allow the kids to be around the father when the father is needed. You heard me? Think about it. Chances are you told people that the father didn't want to be involved, and then you've had multiple relationships since then. He's with a woman. He's probably been with a woman for the last set of years or whatever the deal is. But in your situation, you're still bitter and basically still telling every new man about your baby daddy, when in actuality, he never, you know what I'm saying? You never seen the finished product. You heard me? So if you really think about it on that particular level, you've allowed yourself to get so emotional over something that just was all an illusion. Think about it. I know somebody got something to say on behalf of that. You heard me? Now, as I mentioned, hear your heart. I need to hear your heart on behalf of that. Because if you allow your mind to speak, you're going to speak from that bitter place. My baby, this wasn't even you. You went through something in your early years on behalf of something else that came from the bloodline that you're actually interacting with. Outside of that, it was only classes. You were here to help those. Just like, for instance, if you are a woman that has 2 or 3 kids at this point, you're here to help women with 2 or 3 kids, or 1, 2, 3 kids, whatever the situation is. Don't limit your particular position or limit your particular potential on behalf of those who you're here to help. You heard me? But at the same time, my baby, you gotta believe in yourself. You can't sit here and find yourself being single for the rest of your life just because things didn't work out in certain relationships in your life. There's always more than what you're actually saying or what you're actually seeing, because you were only taught to see it through your vision. You heard me? So I'm gonna leave it at that. You heard me? I see it's 10 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get up early in the morning. I hope that something that was said tonight is going to recreate the narrative of your particular situation. You heard me? At the end of the day, I am a coach here. I do mindset coaching. It's all about changing the particular narrative. If you're willing to invest and be ready to change the particular narrative, I'm here for you. Outside of that, my baby, nobody gonna really be able to help you. And even if it's not me to help, I have some sisters that's in the game as well, so they can basically go ahead and put you on as well. You heard? I appreciate you, Kimberly Gray. Appreciate you, Gabrielle. Hey, y'all be safe. You heard me? And understand that, my baby, you important. You heard me? It don't matter, because you got to understand, Romans 12:2 said, do not conform to the patterns of this world. As many times as you repeat that, you're no longer who you used to be. Nobody is going to judge you on behalf of the decisions that you made whenever you was going through a situation you didn't understand. Remember, the author of confusion is who? As long as he can continue to keep you in that, you'll never be able to see life in a different way outside of what you see. You heard me? But anyway, y'all be safe. You heard me. We'll talk soon. God bless.